Hey, welcome to Wellness Wednesday. If you're catching this in the replay, just hold on through this introduction while we wait for some people to join us. And if you are catching it in the replay, make sure that you put your questions in the comment box below, and I will be able to help you with that. I'm also going to start the live video on, I'm starting the live video on Instagram as well, so you can follow me there at Audrey Christie. It's checking the connection, so bear with me for technology difficulties. We'll give it just another second. Awesome. Okay, so we're simul streaming, I guess you'd call it, on Instagram and on Facebook. I'm Audrey Christie, holistic wellness practitioner. I help people heal from the roots up and the inside out. Generally, I work with people who have chronic illnesses, who are fighting things they've been fighting for a long, long time. Maybe they need to lose some weight. Maybe they have high blood pressure, hypertension, or heart disease, or maybe they're afraid they're going to get there. And so I help them sort of make those simple and sustainable lifestyle changes that lead them into wellness. So today we're talking about kombucha. And I really, really love kombucha. I have some here. And I'll try to show both viewers. If it looks like I'm looking away, it's because I'm simultaneously looking at Instagram again and Facebook at the same time. So hopefully this works. It's kind of a dangerous trick to try during Mercury retrograde, right? But so we're going to talk about what is kombucha, because I get that question a lot. Like, is it a mushroom? Is it a drink? Is it a probiotic drink? What is it? Well, it's definitely not a mushroom, although my camera fell. Although it's definitely not a mushroom, although it is in the yeast family, and so sometimes they group it together. Basically, kombucha is a special blend of tea. And when I say special, it can be a lot of different things. This one you'll notice is really, really red, and that's because it is hibiscus tea, and it's berry flavored. So I did a secondary fermentation with berries. And if you go to the grocery store, you'll see them in all different colors of the rainbow and all different flavors and varieties. So what you're looking at there is tea, some sort of sugar, and some sort of fruit or vegetable or spice to flavor it. And then plus something called a SCOBY, S-C-O-B-Y. S-C-O-B-Y. And what a SCOBY is it's an acronym for symbiotic culture of bacteria and yeast, right? And that sounds really, really gross, right? But it's not. It's actually really, really good. And so basically, see if we can turn this back around. Still having technology problems. Okay, Instagram, I've got to check out so I can finish Facebook. Awesome. If you missed this, you can, check it out. It'll be on YouTube as well as on the blog at audreychristie.com. So if you miss it, don't worry about it. You can catch it there. Okay, so back to what we were talking about. So part of what makes kombucha different from just flavored tea is that, or flavored sweet tea even, is that this little fella inside there called the SCOBY. And I don't know if you can see this, but if I turn the glass up like this, you see those little things floating in there? Those are bacteria colonies, and they're the good kind of bacteria. So the probiotics, right? And you don't have to drink it out of a wine glass. I just don't have any other clear glasses, right? So you want to make sure when you, all the technology has got me flabbergasted. So the SCOBY is what gives it the fizz. It's what gives it a lot of its health benefits as well. Some of the benefits of kombucha are derived from the tea itself. Things like antioxidants, right? And things, and part of its germ fighting ability. That's actually part of the tea. And so that's why it's part of the reason why it's important to use the right kind of tea. Your standard black tea is not going to work. You can also use green tea. That will work. You can get it by a special blend called kombucha tea. Again, this is hibiscus flower tea, and so it's really, really red because it's made with hibiscus flowers. So when you choose a kombucha, you want to read the ingredients and make sure that it's got a tea that resonates with you, that it's, you know, working for something that you're also looking for, right? Some other benefits of kombucha is that it's a really good source of probiotics. And one question I get a lot is, can I replace my pill probiotic with this yummy drink? And the answer to that, unfortunately, is no. So as adults, we need 30 to 50 billion CFU. And each batch of kombucha has a little bit different level of CFU. Most of the time, they aren't tested. And so it likely has closer to like 10 million or 10 billion, possibly, maybe even less than that. And it's really hard to tell, depending on their shelf life, how much probiotic they have. So this is not a replacement for your probiotics. However, it is a good supplement. It is something that you can enjoy with a meal, and it can help your body not absorb the sugar as fast, so it keeps your blood sugar regulated. It can help you not eat as much as you normally would. Another benefit is that it's really, really good at fighting germs. So despite the fact that it contains yeast and bacteria, it's actually really, really good at fighting both infection-causing bacteria and infection-causing candida or yeast. So that's a really big benefit of drinking probiotics, drinking kombucha, which contains probiotics. Now, part of that is the kombucha itself, and part of that is the tea, the antioxidants in the tea, and the acetic acid that's produced when it all mixes together. Another thing is, again, it's full of antioxidants, which I touched on a minute ago, but it's full of antioxidants, and this part mostly comes from the tea. And so this is where, depending on what you're using kombucha for, or what benefits you might hope to get from it, this is something that you can control based on the tea itself that you use. And so you might be wondering, like, why is high antioxidants important? Well, one, it helps reduce heart disease. Two, antioxidants help manage and prevent type 2 diabetes. Three, it can also prevent cancer. And so it's a far reach to say that drinking this glass of kombucha will prevent cancer, because that's not exactly true. However, you know how I like evidence, right? So I like all the stuff I say to be based in science. And they actually did a study, and they used kombucha in a test tube with cancer cells. And it stopped the growth, it stopped the reproduction and spread of the cancer cells. So that's a positive benefit. Now, that hasn't been duplicated, that particular study hasn't been duplicated in animals or people, but it shows some promising benefits for kombucha. Now, when you buy it at the store, you have a couple of choices. Well, you have lots of choices, right? You can choose flavor. All of that stuff is fine. Usually it'll say on the ad itself, or on the label itself, it'll say, you know, what it's for. So if it's like apple and ginger, usually that is for digestion, right? If it's some kind of greens something, then that's for energy. However, what you have to be really careful about is to read the label closely and look for, is it pasteurized or unpasteurized? Just like milk, when you pasteurize something, you heat it, right? You heat it with the goal of killing all the bacteria. Well, when you heat it for a certain amount of time, it does kill all the bacteria. That's the goal. That's what pasteurization is. It's not good for your milk, and it's also not good for your kombucha. So if you find kombucha that is pasteurized, then you are drinking the sweet tea. Might be a little fizzy, but it doesn't have any of the benefits, or not many of the benefits, that kombucha has, and it probably has too much sugar. So you definitely want to avoid pasteurized kombucha, and a more accurate name for that would be like kombucha flavored sweet tea, right? Because it's not exactly kombucha. Let's see, I answered that question. I answered pasteurized or unpasteurized. Can I substitute it for my daily probiotics was another question. And then the third question is that it's really, really expensive. So, you know, I only get to enjoy kombucha every once in a while. And that's absolutely true. Kombucha is $3 to $5-ish per bottle. And usually there are 1 to 3 servings in a bottle. So yes, if you wanted to have a serving of kombucha every single day, then it is really, really expensive. However, you can make your own with just tea, sugar, a SCOBY, and water. And then there are all sorts of different things that you can do to give it flavor or give it color. You can add fruit and secondary fermentation. It's really a simple process, and it's kind of a fun, sciencey process if you like that kind of thing. So if you're interested in making kombucha, we're starting the Healing Art of Making Kombucha class on April 3rd. If you're in my wellness tribe, you get that class for free, so definitely check with me in there. If you're not in my wellness tribe, then you might as well join, or you can buy the class, either way. But we're going to learn all about the healing art of making kombucha and how to make it, especially yours, how to make it low sugar so you can reap the biggest benefit from it, how to make sure you have the right probiotics in there, the ones that you're looking for, like the kind of lactobacillus that helps prevent sugar cravings. Oh, and then one other question I get a lot is kombucha alcohol? Does it have alcohol in it? So when you buy it at the store, it has 0.5% alcohol or less. That's the rule, right? Otherwise, it's got to be sold with the beer and the liquor. However, when you make it at home, if you do it right, you can achieve that low level of alcohol. If you don't do it right, you can end up with as much as 3 to 5%. So you have more like a kombucha wine. When the alcohol level gets too high, the bacteria can't survive, right? It works the same as pasteurization. So there are some tricks you can use to keep the alcohol level down, because you are basically fermenting stuff, but to keep the alcohol level down. And then another thing, people call the little goobs in there, I don't know if you can see them anymore because I've been drinking it and shaking it up, but they call them aliens, right? And so again, they're bacteria colonies, and they do kind of look slimy like aliens. Sometimes it creeps the kids out. They're like, oh my gosh, I'm drinking snot. So when you look at the Scooby, try to think of it as, because all of them are going to have a Scooby in the bottom, right? It's also kind of like the mother in apple cider vinegar. So you want to think of it as like the coral reef for the bacteria and the yeast, the good bacteria and the yeast. They live in that Scooby, and then they break off little pieces, and that's part of the benefits that you get in your kombucha. So if you have any questions, hi David. If you have any questions, please don't hesitate to leave them below. Again, we're starting the Healing Art of Kombucha class on April 3rd. You can get that free if you're in the Wellness Tribe. I am Audrey Christie, Holistic Wellness Practitioner. I can't even get it out. Instagram's got me all flabbergasted. Thank you, Mercury retrograde. Holistic Wellness Practitioner. Thank you for joining me, and I will see you guys on Friday. Bye.